And joining me now from Munich is Bill Browder, a critic of Putin's regime and a friend of Alexei Navalny. Mr. Browder, thank you so much for doing this, especially during such a difficult time. First of all, as someone who knew Navalny personally and worked closely with him, what were your thoughts and emotions when you heard the news of his death?
Absolutely heartbroken, shocked, emotionally destroyed. Alexei Navalny was a larger-than-life character. He was the face of what was good about Russia, and basically, it's hard to even describe the feeling that I had then and I have now, that he was murdered by Vladimir Putin. It's just indescribable, the horror of it all.
I've read some of your recent writings, and you've mentioned that Navalny's motivation seemed to stem from a deep sense of patriotism and outrage over the corruption in Russia. How do you think his legacy will influence the future of activism and dissent in the country?
Well, I think the point that Putin wanted to make was that by killing Alexei Navalny, it basically said that anyone else who tries this will die. And so, in the short term, anyways, unfortunately, I think that Putin's point will have been made, that nobody is going to challenge him, and that's what Alexei had challenged him, and he died.
Can you shed some further light on the challenges faced by activists like Navalny and yourself in advocating for human rights and democracy in Russia? And do you think you are a target of Putin today?
Well, there's no question that I'm a target of Putin. He's made it very clear that he wants to kill me as well. I've been the subject of death threats, kidnapping threats, multiple Interpol arrest warrants, extradition requests. Putin has it out for me. He obviously had it out for Navalny, which is why we saw Navalny's life ended. He had it out for Boris Nemtsov, another opposition politician who was killed in 2015. He has it out for my friend Vladimir Putin, who is in prison right now, serving a 25-year sentence for basically standing up to Putin. It's basically a very dangerous game to stand up to Putin because he can't tolerate any type of criticism.
I'm curious, how do you assess the international response to Navalny's treatment by the Russian government and then his subsequent death? And what actions, if any, do you think the international community should take?
Well, the international response is one of absolute shock. I'm at the Munich Security Conference right now, which is a gathering of major political figures and government officials from all over the world, and everybody is shocked, outraged. The problem is that ever since Putin invaded Ukraine, we have rolled out whatever sanctions we could think of. I mean, Russia and Putin have been sanctioned immensely. And so it's hard to think of what additional sanctions we could put on him which would have any effect, which doesn't mean that we shouldn't put additional sanctions on him. But I think that the main thing that the international community should do right now is to try to save the other political prisoners who are in jail. As I mentioned, Vladimir Putin. There's another one named Ilya Yashin, Alexei Goranov. These are all Russian political prisoners who are there, who are proponents of democracy like Alexei Navalny was. And we need some of these people to be alive when the Putin regime eventually does crack an end, because otherwise there will be nobody left to be Democrats, to be westernized leaders of Russia.
Especially in light of the death of your friend, do you believe there is hope for meaningful political change and reform in Russia in the near future?
I would say that I'm quite pessimistic at the moment. I think that Putin has got a clear hold on things by taking out the most popular political figure in Russia. Now, having said that, the reason that Putin killed Navalny was because he was scared. He's scared because it's a brittle regime. He's scared because he can only run Russia with repression. And those types of regimes don't last that long. And so there's some chance that it all comes undone for Putin. But until it does, Putin is running a totally repressive, totalitarian state where almost nothing is possible.
Bill, that answers all my questions for now, but is there anything else critical on your heart or on your mind that I didn't touch on that you wanted to make sure to get across today?
I think the last thing I would say is that this is not only a tragedy for Alexei Navalny's family, for his friends, but this is a tragedy for the Russian people, because Alexei Navalny was someone who gave everybody hope. He was, even in the worst circumstances, he was joking, he was smiling, he was standing up to Putin. And that image, that symbol was something that other Russians, also in bad circumstances, maybe not as bad as Navalny, could emulate. And the last thing Putin wanted was for people to emulate any type of disrespect and disdain for him. And by killing Navalny, you've killed the symbol of somebody who could be so optimistic under such terrible circumstances.
All right, that is Bill Browder, a critic of Putin's regime and a friend of the late Alexei Navalny. Bill, thank you very much.
Thank you.